Chef Buck here, and today we are going to make a sushi bowl. In fact, show the secrets to a successful sushi bowl.
Yes!
It's supposed to be like a deconstructed sushi roll, but a sushi bowl is more like a salad.
But it's flavorful.
Yes, and it's delicious, and it's a little different than a salad. And this is what you want to make sure and do so that you don't end up with a glorified salad. You want to have a sushi bowl. And one of the most important things is the sauce for the rice.
Sauce for the rice?
Not really sauce, but flavor. It's flavor that you want to put into your rice or your quinoa. Because sometimes, you can make a sushi bowl with quinoa, because you can always substitute quinoa. Quinoa is a great alternative to rice if you're trying to be healthy, but then it's not going to be as decadent. For the most decadent, delicious sushi bowl, you want to use white rice. Because then it's almost like a dessert. But we're not going to do that because we are trying to be a little bit healthy. So we're just using whole grain brown rice. You want to make the rice or the quinoa according to package directions. And then you want to add a sauce. So we're going to do that real quick here. Let me turn on my stove. I'm going to have my pot here on medium-low heat. Doesn't have to be very hot. Come over here and get in the pot here. You don't have to get in the pot here. Just focus on the camera.
Thanks.
Focus on the pot. Boom. A little bit of rice vinegar. And we're going to put like 3 spoonfuls in here. And then we're going to do 1 spoonful of soy sauce or tamari. So we got like a 1-to-3 ratio. Sort of, kind of. Boom, boom, boom. And then we're going to do 1 spoonful of sugar. And we basically just want to melt up the sugar into this liquid. And then for a very distinctive little bit of flavor, we're going to use some sesame oil. Just a wee itsy bitsy teeny tiny bit. Bloop. Just a little dripple drop. Doesn't take a lot. Start with 1/4 teaspoon and see if you want to go up from there. It's best to err on the side of caution with sesame oil. So you just want to keep it on low heat until your sugar dissolves. And then that's all there is to this little bit of flavoring. And this is going to transform our rice into something super duper delicious. So now we just take our little bit of sauce here. We pour it into our rice and just stir it up. Just mix it together well. And I just made this rice according to package direction. Now, if you want to, you can go ahead and add a little bit of nori into the rice at this point, just a little bit of seaweed. We've just chopped it up into some fine little strands, and you can stir it up into your rice. And then that way, it's going to soften the nori. Because a lot of people, you want that seaweedy flavor, but you don't really care for the texture of the seaweed. So stirring it into your rice will give you that flavor without that texture. Now, the other key flavor for your sushi bowl is a nice, creamy, spicy dressing. Come on down here, camera girl. We just got a few ingredients here to make this sauce. We got a little bit of mayonnaise, and it'll come... yeah. Okay. We'll just pretend that didn't happen and put our mayonnaise in a bowl. We'll just, yeah. So we're going to make a super simple, creamy dressing. We're just going to take a little, mother. Okay. I'm not advanced enough to use this high-tech mayonnaise dispenser.
Yes, you are.
No.
Oh.
I don't have the intellectual power to use that mayonnaise dispensing device. So we will go to the classic bucket o' mayonnaise, and we will just dollop out a nice healthy spelunking of it, and maybe just an additional dib-dab, so that we'll have plenty of creamy dressing. Now to this here, you can add a little bit of chili sauce. Sometimes, it'll be a sriracha brand, or you can just use any kind of chili sauce you want, or any kind of chili flavor. I'm gonna use this here, which is spicy taco sauce. Olay. Doesn't matter. As long as it is a hot seasoning, that's going to be fine. As red jalapeno pepper, it has a lot of spicy stuff. So I'm going to use this here, and it's going to be just all right. Boom, boom, boom. In fact, I've used this before, and it's not that hot. So I'm going to add some of this here.
Ooh, we like Cholula.
Yeah, which is another kind of spicy flavor, but even this isn't that hot. But together, it'll give it a little bit of heat. And we'll get this stirred up. And this doesn't look dark enough for me. So I'm gonna add a little bit more. You can definitely adjust your mixture of spice and mayonnaise to get the heat level you like. This is really all you need for a nice creamy dressing, but we want it to be more Asian-y because it's a sushi bowl. So we're going to use the thing I don't see. I left it over on the stove.
Go, go, Chef Buck. Go, go, Chef Buck.
Yep, it's the sesame oil. So we're just gonna use another little dish dash of sesame oil in here. And again, just a super duper little drop of it, because it doesn't take a lot. Just that little bit of sesame oil is going to make this into a very Asian-y flavor. Give it a little try here.
What's the verdict?
I think I'm going to add just a smidge more of the sesame oil. And that's the way you want to do it. Just add the right amount the first time. But if you can't add the right amount the first time, make sure you put in a little bit less than that. Because it's okay if you can add a little bit more. But once you put too much oil in here, then you are ski-rood.
Or you just get to add more of the creaminess.
I guess you could do that.
Then you just have more sauce.
That's right. There I have it, perfecto. That's all there is to it. So now we got our flavored rice. We got a nice little creamy dressing for our sushi bowl. Now we want to actually put them together. And I'm going to put it together on 2 different plates so you can see, or 2 different vessels.
Two presentations.
Because sometimes, you know, it's a sushi bowl, but you don't have to do it in a bowl. You can do it in a plate. In fact, sometimes a plate is more advantageous than a bowl. Because if all you have is a big, deep bowl, you want to be careful. You know, when you're putting it together and serving it. It's fine if you're just eating it for yourself, but if you're going to make it for someone else, you know, you want it to look like a nice full serving. But if you was to fill this up with rice, you know, that's too much. You know, we've eaten sushi bowls out, and we like to eat them out. We enjoy them, but we don't like it if it's too much rice, because you want a lot of flavors and textures, but you don't want to have to eat, you know, a half a pound of rice. So we're going to bolster it up with some greens. And I'm going to take a little bit of spinach, and then I'm going to take a little bit of cilantro. Now, of course, cilantro is optional. Some people don't like cilantro.
Oh, but it's so good.
Exactly. But some people, you know, it tastes like soap to them. And then I got some fresh basil right here. So I got my greens right here, and I'm just going to give them a rough choppy chop. I'm just going to toss these flavors around a little bit. And I'm going to fill my bowl up with these greens. And then that way, when I put my rice in there, I don't have to fill the whole bowl up with rice. And I'm going to go ahead and top it with some green onion tops as well. And I'm using 3 green onions. You can use 1, you can use 2, you know, whatever you like. Now I'm going to go ahead and slice the bottom of my green onions a little differently. I'm just going to slice them into some thin lengths. That way I'll have some different textures. Now I'm going to throw a little bit of cucumber on there. I just got an English cucumber. You know, a Japanese cucumber is nice. Any kind of thin-skinned cucumber is ideal for a sushi bowl. You kind of want to avoid, you know, the giant dinosaur cucumbers, you know, because they're very watery. So I'm just going to cut me up a few little discs of cucumber. Throw those on there. Or if it's a bowl instead of a plate, then cutting it up into some little cubes can be nice for your cucumber. Now I'm going to add a little bit of edamame in here. These are just some shelled edamame beans. You know, you can buy these in the frozen food section, you know, and just boil them for about 5 minutes. Just put them in a little hot water, and then you can eat them. So I'll just pile some edamame on here. But the edamame is highly optional. Really, that's more for texture than anything else. But we're going to have a lot of textures here with the rice and the veggies. So edamame if it's in your heart, but if it's not in your heart, you know, who's going to judge you? Now put as much rice on here as you like. This here is going to be the filling part of your dish. But I don't like to have too much rice, because I want the salady part of my dish to be the dominant part. That way, even though it's kind of decadent, it still feels healthy. Now we're going to put a little carrot in there. And here's a little hack. You know, if you've got a zester, you can make some nice little carrot strings. So just give it a little zesty zest. Now we got some nice fancy pants carrot strings. We want to make sure and put our carrot on here to use color to its greatest advantage because we got a whole lot of green going on here. So make sure you're careful with any color you're putting on here. You know, you don't want the other artists in the neighborhood to be laughing at you.
Who cares? If you like it.
You're not an artist. An artist would never say that. The orange of the carrot definitely helps to dress it up. And then I'm going to throw a little bit of red in here as well. You know, I always have cherry tomatoes on hand to add that little splash of color. But tomatoes, it's not the first thing you think of with a sushi bowl. So having a bit of bell pepper or any kind of red pepper is going to be nice. So I'm just going to cut this up into some thin little rings. Alrighty, that's looking pretty beautimous. And now one of the last things I'm going to put on here is an avocado. Now you can really mix and match these ingredients. Use what you want to use and leave off what you don't want to use. But the avocado is really fantastic for a sushi bowl. Because just like in regular sushi when they got that bit of avocado in there, it adds a nice creaminess. So if you want to leave off some ingredients, definitely do so. But if possible, definitely use the avocado. Oops. 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 Oops.
Even Chef Buck.
Okay, let me see.
I guess that's not as ripe as some. Oh. I shouldn't even put that on camera.
That's good. That's good. We don't want to show that. So we'll go ahead and get our avocados sliced up and then pull our skins off of here. Now we'll go ahead and chop our avocados up in some little pieces. And I kind of always hold off on doing the avocados until the end of my dish because I don't want them to turn on me color-wise. So I go ahead and save it for one of the last things I do. And then I'm also going to add a little bit of the rice wine and vinegar to it because that's going to add a little more Asian-y flavor. And it's also going to help to preserve the color. And if you wanted to, you could just do this with lemon juice, but vinegar will work just as well. So let me go ahead and throw some avocado on here. Boom, boom, boom. Look how fantastico that is. Now, if you wanted to, you could just serve it like this here. You know, just all vegetarian. Or you could put some seafood on there. Now, anybody that watches our videos knows that recently we have blown our crab budget for the year. So I'm going to go ahead and use some fake crab, some imitation crab.
But you could put steak, you could put chicken, pork.
Yeah, you could put any kind of protein on here you like. In fact, I've got a little bit of chicken right here.
Chicken.
All righty, camera girl's opting for chicken. So I'm going to slice me up a couple little pieces of chicken. So now we got chicken on one and imitation crab on the other. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of nori on top of this dish here because we like the flavor. And we like the texture. So we'll roll our nori up and then give it a nice little thin slicey slice. Now if you don't like the texture of nori, you know, you can do like I did and just put it in the rice. That way you'll get that seaweedy flavor without getting the texture. So we got some nice little nori strings right here to top our little dish with. Then we're gonna go ahead and put our dressing on here. Alrighty, so we got a couple of very sushi dishes. Alrighty, you ready to give it a try, camera girl?
Heck yeah.
You're gonna have the bowl with a little bit of chicken in there. Now sesame seeds are fantastic on a sushi bowl. And it's very easy if you've got some everything seasoning, you know, just sprinkle a little bit of that on your sushi bowl because the main ingredient in everything seasoning for bagels is sesame seeds. So you're gonna get a lot of nice flavor right there and lots of salt. So we got a little bit of salt, you know, with the soy sauce or the tamari. You know, you can add salt as you desire, but if you're gonna use this seasoning here at the end, there's lots of salt in there. Look at that. Camera girls, just go ahead and get in a jump on there. What do you think? She loves these things. And you got the chicken.
You can easily pay $15 for something like this.
Yeah. Usually when you go to get a sushi bowl or a poke bowl or something like that, they're usually pretty pricey when you eat them out. But it's really just a glorified salad. But if you want to make one of these and have a super duper flavor and make it distinguishable from a salad, then just make sure and have a nice creamy sauce and flavor your rice. Add those Asian flavors to those sauces and those ingredients. Put some fancy pants sesame seeds on mine. And a few on the table. You know I like to talk with food in my mouth, but it's hard to talk with this kind of food in your mouth.
Isn't this a great summer dish?
Mm-hmm. This is a very refreshing meal. And, you know, like I said, cut you up some greens, especially if you're putting it in a bowl. You know, and fill the bottom of your bowl with greens, and that way it's not such a heavy dish because you're not filling it all up with rice.
And you can do all the dicing and cutting that's needed while your rice is cooking, or your quinoa.
For sure. So there you have it. You know, go over to myfoodchannel.com. You can check out all our recipes over there. Thanks for watching, subscribing, thumbs and blah, blah, blah. Leaving the kind comments. We love to read them. We appreciate you leaving them. We'll talk to you in the future.